Hi, everyone. It's Samantha Tennant, and welcome to another episode of our Fresh Fiction Video Book Club. And I am so excited. We are going to have so much to talk about with our author tonight. She is a New York Times, USA Today best-selling author of so many different genres. I mean, she's done steampunk, she's done thriller, she has done sci-fi, she's done urban fantasy, she's got some rom-coms, she's written solo, she's written with other people. I think we'll find a few questions for her tonight. I have no doubt about that. But of course, her latest book is "I Think I'm in Love with an Alien." So let's welcome Ann Aguirre. Ann, so good to see you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Well, Ann, let's go all the way back because this is the first time we've had you for Video Book Club. And I know that you were an English major, but or an English literature major, actually. How did you get into writing?
I pretty much always wanted to write. I never wanted to do anything else. From the time that I was old enough to read books and to know what books were, I had, I guess you would consider a pivotal encounter in elementary school where there was a competition for writing, and I won for my school, and I went to regionals, and at regionals, I met Shel Silverstein, who was a speaker, and he read to us from Where the Sidewalk Ends. I was probably 8 or 9 at the time, and that was when I found out that writing was a job, and from that point on, that was the job that I wanted. And I did do other things to make ends meet over the years, but, writing was always my first love.
Well, what type of books then were you reading? Because I think you're fascinating with the different books that you have because they have, other than your witch series, the rom-coms, they've always struck me more as I mean they have the romantic element, but they also how to say it, more kind of hardcore, and it's the science fiction, it's the dystopian, the apocalyptic, steampunk. I mean, were you reading more of those genres also growing up, or what was it about those then that has really made that kind of your niche in, or do you feel it's your niche in writing?
Well, people's body of work, does evolve over time. When the world was a little safer, I felt able to write a little darker and a little grittier. But now that the world is how it is, I'll say, I am putting out much lighter, much fluffier books that are very warm and cozy and accepting because I do want people to look on my books as a place of refuge where they can feel seen and they can feel safe and they know that completely terrible things are not going to befall the characters. It's not going to be rock falls, everyone dies type of despair. Um, so I would say that it's been my response to the world we live in
Hmm.
that the type of material I produce has changed over time. Because these darker works that you reference, I was writing, 2010, 2012. Um, it's now 2025, and I am writing lighter these days.
Well, because one of my favorite series of yours is with the Witch Please and Boss Witch. And I mean, I love the characters, I love the circumstances. And you're right. I mean, it was a big shift because I had read so many of your other series before, like the Samantha Jackson, and it's like, wow, this is really different. Did you find it was that your writing style, or not your writing style, but your writing process changed with the lighter books?
The process is just always shifting.
Hmm.
One of the most disorienting things that I have found, I've been doing this professionally for like 20 years now at this point, and one of the things that shocks me the most is how little continuity there is from book to book.
Mm,
Some books want to be written first thing in the morning. Some books want to be written in the dark of night.
mhm.
Some books are like pulling teeth. It's really difficult to get those words out. And then some books just flow thousands of words at a time, like it's some sort of literary catharsis. And like the process and what I have to do in order to get the book written, it's going to be different every single time. You would think that I would have it almost automated at this point. Like, I get up, I do the thing, I write for 6 hours. But no, it's unfortunately my brain is not that cooperative. And for every book, it's different. It's like I have to reinvent the wheel every single time to make that character set work, to make that particular book appear. Um, in terms of whether it's different writing lighter, I mean, it is in some ways, but it's also like it's better for me too. It's better because I feel good about what I'm putting out into the world. That's not to say that I don't think that darker or grittier material isn't useful, even times like these. I mean, people find comfort and benefits from all different kinds of books. I just don't have the moral fortitude to create them right now.
Well, and one of the other things, because when you came through Dallas a couple months ago, we were so good to see you then. I remember you saying that a lot of times the characters are talking to you, you know, and so if you're coming up with a different process throughout for each book, I mean, are they talking to you in the same way? Is it a movie running through your head and you're just trying to get things down on paper? Or does each book have its own voice, so to speak, when you're really sitting down with it?
Well, it's not the book per se, but it is the characters.
Mhm.
So, I do have characters in my head whispering lines to me or giving me insights or telling me what needs to happen next. It's just like a nudge constantly when I'm working on something. But then once I finish the book and their story is told, those characters exit. So it's not like I have live voices from all 50 plus books that I've written whispering the whole time. It's only whoever I'm writing about currently. So once their story is told, they exit, and
Mhm.
then the next set of characters d kind of lodge themselves in my brain and talk to me throughout the process.
Was it a little bit different with this latest book since you've got a few more? I mean, it's in the title. I think I'm in love with an alien. So that you're kind of thinking of some different types of characters. You're not exactly our run of the mill humans for everything.
In terms of the process, it was not markedly different because I have written about aliens before. In terms of the format, it was a little bit different because I tried to make it a little more almost like a multimedia experience by including like samples from the text chats that they had and writing coherently, but like also it's still plausible that someone would text this because you typically don't send like super long messages by text. I mean, I guess occasionally you do, but
Unless you're my dad who decides he wants to write a book in every 10
usually
yes.
usually though people are more likely to like they'll type out a sentence and hit send and then they'll type out another sentence and hit send. It tends to be older people I find that will very slowly type out a brick of text and send it all at once. Um, but since the people in the chat were younger, I thought that I needed to kind of alternate the style.
I'm curious also on your process for this particular book because there were so many, I guess Easter eggs is probably the best term really for them of the different throwouts to, I mean, And I was cracking up because I am definitely a sci-fi geek. I mean, grew up with the Star Trek and the Star Wars and the Doctor Who, and where it's just going through of where you're talking about Doctor Y and the 10th Doctor versus the Ninth Doctor and the debates there, and even like with another writer where it was Sapphire as opposed to perhaps Ruby. And I mean, there were just so many things as I'm going through it. I'm like, oh, I know what this is. Oh, no, this goes back to that. I mean, were those things that were coming to you in your initial draft, or were these things that you went back afterwards?
No, the Easter eggs went in the first draft. It was all just little things that I find entertaining or that I thought would be funny or that I thought people in those fandoms that they would be really excited if they recognized them. And it has been just super fun for readers as well, because I get a lot of people contacting me and being like, was that a Magic the Gathering reference? Was that a reference to gargoyles? Was that a reference to such and such? And like, I'm just always like, well, if you found it, it is most likely a reference because I put so many different little nods in there that I thought people would have fun with. I mean, and yes, there is Magic the Gathering, there is gargoyles, there's even a Godzilla um Easter egg.
Well, and I was cracking up because earlier in when we were doing our name game, we were talking about our favorite aliens, and someone else had referenced Roswell, and I'm like, oh my gosh, well, that was one of the costumes that were mentioned is one of the cosplays in the book and one of the characters. And so again, it's one of those two. As I was going through, it's like I want to go back and like highlight, oh, okay, and here's this reference and here's this reference, and okay, what else am I missing here? I mean, it just put a whole other level of fun into the novel, and I really did enjoy that.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that.
Well, and also, what are your thoughts? Because again, with this book, I mean, and this is another thing that has really become popular over. I mean, I think it's always been out there, but has really kind of risen to another level of the the alien romances. And so, with Seeker, I mean, was this something that you were like, hey, I because it's one of those, it's not so much off world, but it was more on the cons, which again, I love the whole con aspect of this book. I mean, why do you think there is such a rise in the popularity of the alien romances across all of these different markets?
Well, I mean, the short answer is that readers want them. The long answer is that there have always been people who were interested in that. I mean, Jax kind of had a significant alien character in that series. I consider that it's something that I've always been doing and have always been interested in. Um, I think it's probably a natural extension of the rise of monster romances, though. And there were a whole lot of us who watched Gargoyles
I was
and
thinking, right? I loved that shipping in there. It was like,
and who watched Beauty and the Beast, the original
yeah,
one with Ron Perlman and I think Linda Hamilton. There were a lot of us who were watching that, and then there were a lot of us that were genuinely disappointed with the Disney version of Beauty and the Beast because we've spent the whole movie falling in love with Beast, and then at the end, he turns into a completely average dude. And we were all like so let down and so disappointed for Belle. Like she fell in love with this magnificent beast, and now she is just married to Percy Q Normal. Like really? This is how it ends? So, I myself, in fact, have written a Beauty and the Beast called Bitterburn just to fix all of the problems that I had with the original.
you're right. I mean, these love stories and romances have been out there for so long, and so many different shippers through all of those different things. Because you're right, I watched Gargoyles. I loved that Beauty and the Beast. I mean, you go back into some of the Star Trek stuff with Worf and which people were talking about him earlier as a favorite alien. I mean, there's so many of those, and I think again, this is something that's come up with other authors too. At the core, we're all looking for those happily ever afters and the romance story that is still that common thread throughout and accepting people. Because I think that was another element that really came out in this book is the a lot of the characters. So some of them were striking me more as, I guess, neurodivergent. Was that something that was conscious with this also, or
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
and again, kind of the elements of those worlds too, right? And the acceptance for everyone. And so with that, I mean, are you getting feedback from other readers that are saying, hey, we really are seeing ourselves in more of your stories now? Because, and it's not only with this book, because you also had some of that also in, okay, I always have to think on this title, The Only Purple House in Town, where again, it was more finding family and people accepting each other as they are.
Yeah, I definitely do receive positive feedback from readers who are really happy. In particular, um, to talk about, I think I'm in love with an alien. I have had multiple readers reach out and say that they feel really seen and that they're really happy that Jen is on record as being Ace, and that they love seeing an Ace heroine starring in her own romance, because a lot of people misunderstand that being Ace means that you automatically don't want romantic love, or you're just not interested in those relationships. But being ace is very different from being a romantic. Um, so I have had multiple people tell me that they are happy and thankful to see themselves on the page and getting a happy ending.
And this book was so much fun. I want to know, what was your favorite part of this book, either in your finished novel or in the process of writing it?
I had a really good time writing all of the con stuff. Like all the panels that they attended and the little activities that they participated in as a group. That entire section was really fun. Um, but like I guess my all-time favorite is when this is not like a huge spoiler or anything because it's already in the title that he's an alien. But when Seeker decides to trust Jen with his secret, I found that scene to be really romantic and fun to write and very intimate. So I would say that was probably my favorite scene to write.
Mm-hmm. And what was your favorite Easter egg that you put in?
If I tell you, then you'll know what it is. But you know what? I'm gonna say the Godzilla one because nobody has said I found your Godzilla Easter egg.
Gosh, I'm gonna have to go back. Okay, okay, that one hasn't jumped out at me yet. No, okay, because I have to admit I
I
haven't
will
really finished
I
it.
will give you a hint though. It's for a particular Godzilla movie.
Okay, are you going classic Godzilla or more modern?
It is more recent. It's more recent
Okay,
Godzilla.
okay, all right. So post Matthew Broderick movies then.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
okay, because I watched all those old ones too, man.
Oh, I've seen all of them too, but this one is my favorite because reasons. And if I tell you particularly which Godzilla movie it is
It's
a
gonna
very
jump
recent
out.
one.
Okay.
The answer would then become obvious.
Okay, one thing I do want to touch on though is that you have written books and series with other authors. How much is your writing process different when you're doing that, or is it really dependent on who that author is? Because of course, you've done it with Rachel, and you did it with Chloe, right?
You mean Chloe Neal?
You wrote with someone else besides Rachel.
Right. Well, we can just talk about Rachel. When I worked with Rachel, we basically just maintained uh, a Google Doc,
Mm-hmm.
and we would just we had an email chain called Tag You're It. And like one of it, like she tended to writing and I tended to write more in the afternoon. So it actually worked out really, really well. She would pretty much be wrapping up all of her words for the day when I would be ready to get started. And I would have an email waiting for her from her saying, Tag, you're it. And I would go in and review what she had done. And then I would just take up where she left off. Um, our partnership was very, very rare. And I kind of doubt that I will ever meet anyone who can finish my sentences again the way that she could. Um, she was the best writing partner anyone could have ever had. She was brilliant, kind, gifted beyond measure, and I just feel so fortunate that I got to do the 3 books that I got to do with her before she was taken from us.
And just so our
Um,
readers and listeners know, that's the honor series.
yeah,
And just
yes, and it too is full of aliens if that's the thing that you're interested in. And it would delight me like the one if I could wish for anything, you know how sometimes books take off long after they're published because someone randomly says something on social media or a video somewhere goes viral. If I could have one wish, it would be that that series would take off because the work that Rachel and I did, I am so proud of it, and I would just love for many, many, many more people to read it and to fall in love with that work as a tribute to her life and her legendary talent.
and I have those books, physical books, on my bookshelf. So I've had them for a while.
You need to read them. They're amazing.
Yes, they
And
are.
that with a straight face on them because she was just such a tremendous talent.
She was one of a kind, that's for sure. We were very lucky to have her at many of our events and get to know her over the years. And,
Yeah,
always, always a fun time and lots of really great conversations. And,
guaranteed.
yep. And I have, of all things, in addition to all of her other books, I have a copy of Pride and Prejudice that she gave me.
Oh, wow.
It's a beautiful bound copy, and I have it kind of sitting aside some of my other books, and it's like, oh, yes, this is a special, completely kind of out of the norm uh, book that I got from her, and it was like, oh, this is so cool. Um,
That is really cool.
well, and fresh fiction facts, because after talking about Rachel, I mean, that's a good note to go over to some of these. These are meant to be some quick, off the top of your head type question answers, okay? Easy one considering the book right now. If you were if you knew that they were real, would you rather encounter an alien or a vampire?
Alien.
See, that was kind of a gimme, wasn't it?
It was.
Okay, okay. Who would you most not want to be stuck in an elevator with?
The current president?
We can go with that. What is the craziest thing that you've ever bought online or through an as seen on TV type commercial?
I bought some automatic cat toys online. They kind of look like sperms and they light up and they're self-automated. Like you plug them in and they charge and they just wiggle all over the floor and they light and they have spitty balls and they have a soft, fluffy tail. They are really bizarre looking, but the cats are very into them.
And how many cats do you have?
I have 2.
Two. Okay. Because Don't you also do cat rescue?
Um, I have in the past, but I am not currently living that lifestyle.
Okay. How about other than books? What is something that you own a ridiculous amount of?
Since I recently, like within the last 2 years, did an international move and I purged a lot of my belongings, I actually do not own a ridiculous amount of anything. But in the past, my weakness has been purses.
Ooh. So you just did a full purge of just about anything and everything that you didn't absolutely need to move with you, huh?
Correct. Yeah, I did a Marie Kondo, does it spark joy, downsize, and it's honestly pretty great to have such an uncluttered home. I love it.
Okay, so were the purses the hardest thing to get rid of during that condo purge?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Now, is that going to be an excuse just to go out and buy completely new ones, or are you pretty much sticking with
I
her?
mean, I have already bought some, but instead of having a whole closet full now I just have one hanging rack.
Hmm.
So that is progress.
Okay. Okay. Um, what is your most dog-eared book? The one that you keep going back to read over and over again, either for fun or for research.
Well, right now I would have to say the Book of Fairy Spells, but that's a research book that I'm using to write my current text. And I have thumbed through it a lot because I am actually writing my own spells
Mm-hmm.
based on the format in this book because it's meant to be like a how-to book,
Mm-hmm.
assuming you believe in both fairies and magic. So,
Okay. Gotcha. Hmm. Have to think on that one. That might come up with a question later. I'll have to put that on the back burner a little bit. Okay, you've been kidnapped, but they return you 2 hours later because you will not stop talking about what?
my dog.
What is your ideal paradise?
I don't know if this is the type of place that actually exists, but a library with a hotel nearby. And a really huge, like, fancy library that just has, like, 4 floors of books that you can just wander through, and the hotel is nice that it's within walking distance, and you can just, like, walk back and forth and spend your time with books, and then in a hotel where no one bothers you. That would be pretty amazing.
I could go for that. Yeah. What is your writing fuel? What is it that keeps you going?
Um, Usually, it'll be coffee or tea in the morning. And then during the day, I make infused water.
Mm,
I start with hollow ice, and then I do a sparkling flavored water like lime or lemon, and then I add fun different fruits like strawberry, blueberry, watermelon, lime or lemon slices. And then we have these like little flavor drops,
okay.
and you can add a few flavor drops to the water, and then you mix it up and you kind of let it sit for a bit, and then you drink it, and it's like the most amazing, like it vibes like an Italian soda, but it's kind of healthy, and I just sip on that all day while I'm writing.
Okay, I'm curious on this one, especially because of the international aspect. What is your favorite gas station like snack when you're on a road trip? And has that
Um,
changed when you've moved back to the States?
I typically don't buy snacks on road trips. I am pretty organized, and like just this is specific to I mean, I literally just got back from a road trip. I was gone on my book tour from June 18th until the middle of July, and I was driving that whole time and basically like going from hotel to hotel. and I did log about 4,000 miles in my car.
Wow.
Um, but I bought things here at Costco and I put them in my trunk, and then I just had snacks with me. So I am a planner, I guess. And what I had was Welch's fruit snacks and snack packs of nuts. It was a 3 pack, like three different types. It had peanuts, it had almonds, and it had cashews. Um, that's high density protein. And they're also calorically dense. So if I'm driving and I'm behind schedule and I don't have time to stop for a meal, I can just have 1 pack of nuts and a pack of fruit snacks and keep drinking my water. And I don't really have to stop. I can just pull over at a rest stop and use the bathroom and keep going.
Mhm.
So, like, I guess I'm just efficient, and this is a decent option for on the road. It's not messy. I can eat it while I'm driving. I'm not really driven by, like, I really need Doritos right now or anything like that.
What is the thing that you tend to forget always when you're in a hurry?
Like when I'm leaving the house, I have
Yeah.
walked out a few times without my phone. Like I'll be running around getting ready and I'll put my phone down on the table and I'll grab my purse, put on my shoes, grab my keys, run out the door. And it's like not a big deal if I'm just like running to the grocery store. I don't necessarily need my phone in order to find the store, to buy groceries and come back. But like if I'm actually going somewhere that I'm unfamiliar with and I need GPS to make the trip, then I have to like turn around and go back and be like, hi, yes, I just left. I need my phone.
Hey, you mentioned your next work earlier, but can you give us any other teasers or when we can expect it? Because we're
Yeah,
always interested in what else are you working on?
yeah, absolutely. I do have some good news. You mentioned earlier The Only Purple House in Town. I have been greenlit to write the sequel to
Awesome.
that. Yes. And I am currently writing that now. It will be out in fall of 2026. And the working title is Mudge's Guide to Mischievous Magic. It is entirely set in fairy.
Now I gotta say, I mean, for that one and the only purple how, I mean, these are tongue twist. These are titles, man. Come on, Ann. These are what I really have to think about. Where is the best place for all of our readers to keep up with you then and find out exactly when they should expect that new book?
The new book, I mean, you can look at my website or you can follow me on social media. I'm Ann Aguirre dot social. I'm also on Instagram. I think I'm there as Ann Aguirre author. I think there are underscores in between it. Um, I do occasionally post to Facebook, but it's probably not the best place to follow me. You can also subscribe to my newsletter, which can be done on my website. You just enter your email. I don't pester people. I pretty much only send out an email when I have news. Like, guess what? I sold a book, or guess what? I'm giving away prizes, or guess what? The book is out now. Please go buy it. Like, those are basically the only times that I would get in touch. So, the newsletter is probably the most direct way. If they want to hear what I have to say just in a chatty way, Blue Sky is probably the best place for that.
Well, those are all the different guess whats that I always like to hear. And readers, if you haven't read any of Anne's books, let me tell you, her latest one, I Think I'm in Love with an Alien, is a lot of fun. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. And like we were talking about earlier, lots of Easter eggs. So if you're a nerd at heart, this is a book that is really going to appeal to you. So Anne, thanks again. Everyone, check out Ann Aguirre's books.